Rumors? You want to do rumors? Lots of rumors. What are we going to see in 2017? They're due for iPad refreshes, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're going to see at the end of the year, I presume, a 10th anniversary iPhone. That's what I'm telling a lot of people to wait for, right? The 10th anniversary iPhone.
I don't know, though. Would they? I don't know if they'd be as eager to say this is a 10th anniversary phone as opposed to this is simply the next iPhone.
Really?
But look how awesome it is. They haven't traditionally been, hey, this is an anniversary product. I'm sure that they're going to spend a lot of time highlighting. It's a great opportunity to highlight their success in creating one of the most influential and mind-changing products ever to come out of technology, and the heritage that and the legacy of that brand. I'm not sure if they're going to call it an anniversary product so much as this is the iPhone 8. It would be interesting to see. I don't know if Apple's now has a rule of having the iPhone 7.0 and then the iPhone 7S and then the iPhone 8 and the 8S. But it would probably get a lot of people wondering if they had what some people are artificially anticipating as a 10th anniversary phone, and it is what some people would consider to be a talk release. It seems as though this is the part of the year where even if you've heard stuff that from people who are in the know and have told you reliable things, these are still things that are being debated and considered.
Yeah.
Right. But it does seem as though everything I've heard is not incremental stuff. It's real swing for the fences stuff, and a bunch of, that idea that we keep having to postpone for one reason or another that has nothing to do with our ability to actually factor it. Let's absolutely do it this year. So I think it could be a very serious release. It's also could be a very serious release just by virtue of the fact that they can do a new version of the 2-camera setup with a year's worth of additional knowledge of how people are using this feature and how well that feature is performing. And they've also had the Pixel phone is also probably that little goose to say that, oh, dang it, this really is a very, very good camera phone. And Android, a lot of times the differences between Android and an iPhone are not so much a case of Android doing something brilliant and revolutionary, but deciding that, oh, all this time we've had 6 bricks in the backpack we're forced to carry. What if we were to take those bricks out of the backpack? And now suddenly this simple phone is so much better. And one of the things they've changed for the Pixel is with a camera is that a lot of the things that made it a not great camera that had nothing to do with the image quality have kind of been fixed. So I think they're going to be encouraged to do something great with the camera, but I think we're going to see the first really cool redesign of the front face of the device in years.
I would say they're due to do OLED, although it's going to be hard to get enough OLED screens to fulfill Apple's huge demand. Adam, you have any thoughts about what an iPhone 8 might?
Yeah, I don't know. I do agree with Andy that the anniversary product seems unlikely. I mean, the only one we really saw like that was the 20th anniversary Mac, and that was just weird. It was a neat machine, no question, but it fit into the lineup very strangely. It was priced very high and then cut radically low, and it feels like it's a little bit like I date myself, but whenever years get put into product names, and like Illustrator 88. Because that's the first one I remember that's happening. You're automatically out of date as soon as it's not 1988 or whatever year it was, and so it feels to me like the anniversary product has a little bit of that problem too. That it's somehow always fixed in time a little bit more than it should be. So apart from that, honestly, I don't get too caught up in speculating about what's going to happen in iPhones. It feels to me like Apple has like this list of features as long as their arm, and they've figured they've got 5 years in the future, and they've got to keep coming up with something for each one of those releases. So they can't just blow all of them on one release. It's just they're going to have to pick something that sounds interesting enough, like the double cameras on the iPhone 7 Plus, and pick that one for this release.
I think it's going to levitate. It's going to see through. is not going to require earphones at all. It's simply going to transmit directly to your eardrums.
Should Apple?
These are the things that I'm expecting, and I will be disappointed and frustrated if I don't see those.
One of the things that in the Android community, many of these Android phones, including the Pixels, do is VR. You know, Google has this Daydream VR thing you put in. The iPhones, and Apple doesn't have any VR or AR. Do you think this will be one of the features of a new iPhone, or is that not going to be a big deal next year?
I think it's a great place for Apple to experiment with AR. I think VR maybe. I don't know if that's a real significant thing for Apple. And also, you can with Cardboard, of course, use an iPhone right now with to do VR. I think that the AR thing that needs to be kind of figured out is the fine-tuned tracking. So. Right now, most of the tracking that we're seeing with AR is accelerometer based and positional based, and so it's trying to figure that stuff out. And as you notice, things kind of float, over top of everything that you're doing. There is, another way to do that, which is to actually start doing pattern recognition and tracking of the information out there. And there's a couple people experimenting with that, and so that gets everything to kind of lock in on the on what it's seeing. So it grabs onto pixels that it's seeing, and it makes sure that everything hangs to it. And when people start doing more of that, it's a little more computationally expensive to do it. So it's going to take a little while for it to really get out there. But I think the processors are getting to the point where they could do that effectively, and it will change AR completely, because all that floating and things kind of moving around like little floaters in your eyes will hopefully largely go away.
I really think that Apple's first foray into AR is not going to be, hey, here's our new platform, or even here's our new set of APIs. It really is just going to be, here is the new version of Maps. Oh my God, we made an amazing change to the app for you. And then maybe a couple of years later, we will see some of that technology leak out into other products and to other APIs. But I think that that's an area where if they do all of that in-house, they control everything themselves, they can release when they want to release it, and they don't have to define the experience for other people. I think that that's where they're going to go with it.
I think it's a great safe thing. I mean, the aha moment for my wife is, we got into an argument over the weekend, not a bad argument, but I said, oh, that's Venus. And she goes, that's definitely not Venus. And I just pulled up the sky app, and I just pointed up and I go, no, that's Venus. So, but the idea that it would just suddenly show you all the stars that were up there.
As good as
she was
pulling
like,
Marshall
oh my
McLuhan
gosh,
out
that
of
is
the line
amazing.
at the movie. That's really good. Well, as a matter of fact, I happen to have right here.
Yeah. It was, it's a new tool to just show that you're right. So,
by the way, how'd that go for you? Did that win the argument, or did you sleep on the couch?
It did. She was actually she had not really seen any VR. It's not something she uses on her phone, and so she was. Fortunately, she was just not angry with me for being a dork, and instead was impressed by the technology, which doesn't happen very often.
Very lucky man.
Close. It was close. It was close.
She clearly read what was printed on the package that you came in before she took it off the shelf.
I missed the bullet by I quickly looked over and look at how great that house is. Let's get that.
Alex has a shrink wrap license around him.
Yeah, exactly.
And use the EULA.
Yeah.
EULA.